Guys, thanks for stopping by and hanging out with me while we cook today. We're going to be making stuffed pork tenderloin. And if you guys want to learn how to make all kind of food and dishes homemade the easy way, subscribe so you won't miss any videos and hit that bell so you'll get notified. Let's get this pork loin stuffed. Okay, so the first thing we're going to do is get this white part off of here. That's the silver skin. It's just kind of tough. It's usually on just one side. And we want to get that off because it's not going to break down and become tender. So you want to get your knife under there and gently cut away. Take your time because you want to try to save as much meat as possible. You won't probably get it all off, but get as much as you can. Now we need to get it cut open, and most people like to cut it this way. I tend to like to cut it the other way, the long way, because this side still has a little bit of that silver skin on it. So if you stand it up and cut it this way, your sections will be thinner, which will give you an easier way to pound it out. So you just want to stick your knife in there. You don't want to cut all the way through. Leave about an inch at the top there so that it won't cut all the way open. If you cut it all the way open to the back, it's going to be 2 pieces of meat instead of 1, and you won't be able to stuff it. This way, you're cutting it straight down. We'll open it up. It'll be open like a book. Then we'll flatten it out. So just gently cut down the middle. You'll need a sharp knife, but take your time and just make sure you don't cut all the way through to the back. As you see, it's starting to open up and it's starting to look like a book. Once you get it open some, then you can cut down just a little bit more, just like a book. You will still want a binder at the end there to keep it intact. Now that we have it open, you can see it looks like a book. We're going to just take it and flatten it out a little bit. If you have a mallet, you can use that. I'm going to need to use my rolling pin because guess what, guys? My mallet has walked away and I do not know where it is. So the next thing we need to do is get our meat, excuse me guys, get our meat all seasoned up. I am going to use a little salt. I like to season the inside of my meat. And of course, you guys know I'm going to my go-tos, garlic powder, and of course, onion powder. You can season it inside with whatever you like. These are just my go-to seasonings. And this is a little Italian seasoning that apparently does not want to come out. So we are going to try to use our Italian seasoning. Get this all seasoned up on the inside real good, then we can fill it. So now for our filling, here I have some actual frozen spinach that has been thawed and drained. Now guys, I typically like to use fresh spinach, but unfortunately, someone in my house used all of my fresh spinach. I'm not going to call any names, husband, for their salad and did not tell me that we were completely out of fresh spinach. And I could have picked some more up when I went to the grocery store, but we are not going to talk about that. I always keep a little frozen on hand, and this is why. So you just want to get this spread all the way out, straight down the center of the tenderloin. Then we're going to put some marinara sauce on top of this. You just kind of want to layer it directly on top. This is marinara sauce that I already had left over from another dish I made. We'll go through making that in another video for you guys. Show you how I make my different sauces. But you just want to layer it on top. Put it directly on top of the spinach. Make sure you get it covered, pretty good there so that when you cut it, it's all through there. You'll either see it, taste it, or it'll be through the spinach. Next, we're going to layer a layer of cheese on here. Now, this is mozzarella cheese. You can use whatever cheese you want. Actually, you can use whatever stuffings you want. I've done this with cream cheese and spinach with some onions and garlic. You can fill it with whatever you want. You can do a regular stuffing like that you would at the holiday time for maybe turkey and stuffing, pork and stuffing. You can stuff it with that. So what you stuff it with is limitless. Just use your imagination. Now we're going to close it up. You're going to need some toothpicks. So you just want to pull the 2 sides together as tight as you can. And then stick a toothpick in there. It does not matter how you stick this toothpick in there. You just want it to stay closed. That's the bottom line. So stick it in there Use as many toothpicks as you need. Just make sure your tenderloin is closed all the way to both ends. That way you're going to create a seam. We're going to sear it off next so that this can stay intact before we put it in the oven. So it's time to sear it off. We've got our cast iron skillet really hot, and we're going to put a little olive oil in there. Then we're just going to take our tenderloin and slide it in. You guys going to hear that sear, and that's what you want to hear. You're going to hear that sizzle. All right, we are all through searing this. You can see it's nice and brown on all sides. Now we need to get it in our baking dish. And I prepared the baking dish just by spraying it with a little olive oil as well. And we're just going to pick this up. Nothing fancy. Pick it up and put it in. Nice. See how nice and brown that is? And I have here some cut up potatoes, red peppers, onions, celery. I'm just going to put that around so that it can roast at the same time as we finish our tenderloin in the oven. Just spread it all and get it in there. And guys, I like to add a little extra seasoning to my tenderloin. Once it's ready to go in the oven, it gives it a nice little crust. So I'm just putting the same exact seasonings that I put on it before on the outside, and we'll put it in the oven. So we will roast this at 350 degrees for approximately 1.5 hours. Woohoo! We are through with the oven. Let's get this foil off and check it out. All right, look at that. Isn't that nice and juicy? Yum! I cannot wait. Now we need to get this out of our baking dish and onto our cutting board. But look at that, guys. Ooh, doesn't that look good? Yes. Ooh. So there is no rhyme or reason to getting this out of here. You just want to get it out. You can use tongs, a spatula. I tend to use forks, and you just want to get it out and get it on the cutting board. Because next we have to slice it so we can see that nice stuffing inside. First though, you're going to need to take out the toothpicks. You don't want to cut through those. So just pull them out, pull all of them out, and then we can get it all cut. Now that our toothpicks are out, we can go ahead and slice, cut off this end. And again, there is no rhyme or reason to slicing this. You would like to have a nice sharp knife. Now we did let it rest. You want to let it rest so that you can cut through easy and the juices will remain inside of the pork tenderloin. And look at that, guys. It's right in the center. So we're going to just make a couple of more slices here so you guys can see the whole thing, see what it looks like, the big piece in the inside as you slice through it. So you just want to slice maybe about 1/2 inch or so in slices. And look at that, guys, right down the center. That's what you get when you stuff a pork tenderloin. Yes. So here is our completed dish, guys. We have our potatoes on the side with our stuffed pork tenderloin. We have a little extra marinara sauce on there with a little broccoli. So guys, leave me some comments. Tell me what you'd like to stuff your pork tenderloin with. Subscribe so you won't miss any videos. Hit the bell so you'll get notified. Thanks for hanging out and cooking with me today.